Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing great. We are here to talk to Laura Font, who I hope is going to show up really soon. Let me message her and check in. Good morning, Pam. How are you? It's so good to see you. Laura should be here shortly. We're going to talk about how, hey, IMI. Hi, Evie. It's good to see everybody. Nice to see you guys coming in. I think Laura's going to be here almost any moment. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my screen. Okay, we are gonna, hi IMI. Lori and I are gonna talk about, Laura and I, why am I saying Lori? And I are gonna talk about, as soon as she gets here, how we both got involved in protesting Scientology. And I'm really excited to see her. Here she comes. Look at you.
Can you see me?
I'm
literally not wearing pants.
Well, don't
I've been finding. I won't. And I forget that for some reason you told me how to go in the settings and change it to portrait. Anyway, I just didn't get there.
To change it to which? Oh, to change it to landscape?
Yes, okay. Landscape instead of portrait, but we're good. Just as long as you can't see the fact that I'm not wearing pants.
No, we can't see the fact that you're not wearing pants.
Okay, good. And I can't see.
You can't see what? You can't see comments?
I can't see comments.
Okay, I will.
Oh, hold on, chat. Hold on.
Did we lose her? Come on, Laura, come back.
I'm just not gonna touch anything because I hit chat and then it kicked me out.
It brought you back. Okay.
Yeah, it kicked me out when I hit chat. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think, can everybody else hear us? I can hear you fine.
Oh, good.
So Pam is here and Evie is here.
Hello.
And I am here. And Hans Christian Schwartz says he just hopes it's not one of those how we got involved and how impossible it is to quit.
Right. Not in Scientology.
Not in Scientology, right?
Against Scientology. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Lisa's day off is here.
Hello.
And Evie says hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
So where do we want to start?
I don't know. Where do you want to start? I got a few questions written down.
Okay.
Okay, I'll start.
Go for it.
Have you ever protested before?
Never.
Never.
No. Anything political, I'm like, it just makes me sick. Even if I'm for it, I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to get, it just.
I don't think that protesting, I've never thought that protesting is necessarily an effective way, or the way that most fits
Right.
me for being effective.
100%. 100%. 100%. And also, for me, some protests look very dangerous.
Yeah, they're scary.
They're scary. Like, I don't want to go out there and get tear gas shot at me, and like, I don't
Well,
want to get involved
because
in that.
you're in Seattle and I'm in Portland, right?
Yeah.
So both of us have had miserable protests where the police have been way
Well,
over the top.
even just the crowds, when the crowds get out of hand and the crowds start, like, breaking stuff and rioting, like, I don't want to get involved in that.
Right, right. I don't want to be caught up in all of that.
Right.
Pam, please
100%.
tell me if you can hear me better now. I took my earpod out, so maybe that works. And look at who we've got, Liz. Hey,
Hi,
Liz.
Lydia.
Good to see you. It's good to see you. So yeah, I'm the same way. I never wanted to get involved at
Right.
all. And you went
100%.
out, you went out the first time with Mandy, right? Was that your first time
Correct.
that you went
That
out?
was my first time. That was L. Ron Hubbard's birthday.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
worked for me because it was a weekday.
Right? Because the kids are in school.
Right. Right. And I am going out there this weekend, this Saturday, because I was able to, my cousin lives in Seattle. So I'm like gonna hand the kids off to my cousin and then head up for a little quick.
Head up to the Seattle org for a little bit.
Yeah, just across the little, what is that? The West Seattle Bridge. Finally got it
Okay.
fixed and I'll be right there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you go out a lot more than I do. Like, you're out there. How often do you get out there?
I try to get out 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes I don't succeed
Right.
and it's only once a week. But I'm
Right.
downtown. I'm downtown at least twice a week for
Right.
class. So
Okay.
I try to make one of those trips. I just hit the
Dual
or
purpose.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try to make one of those trips dual purpose. And then I try to get down on the weekends, but it's hard sometimes. It's hard
Oh,
sometimes.
100%.
I mean, I
100%.
don't have little ones like you do, but still, like my youngest has got a final competition this weekend, and we still don't know what her performance time is. So,
What does she compete in?
Winter Guard, which is like color guard, but not related to band.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very cool.
Maya's
Very cool.
here. Hey, Maya.
Hey, hey. I put eyeliner on, so now I got eye boogers. I'm
I
like,
hate that. I hate that. So,
So yeah, because even when it was when all the ladies went out and were wearing
yeah,
the
we have,
knit
yep,
cats with the pink ears, I was like, "You go, ladies! You
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 go
do
do it.
it! I
Go do
believe."
it. I believe in you. I support you from the background, right?
Yeah, you get my vote.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what changed it for this time?
Honestly, I do not know. I mean,
Right?
so I'm a thing. So let's start with how I got into SPTV, and I think that will help
Okay.
get. Um, I am a single mom by choice, and for my definition, that means that I chose to become a parent without a partner. So I used anonymous sperm donor from a sperm bank in Ohio to conceive my kids, and I am a sole parent of my children. I was pregnant with my daughter when we found out that my mom's endometrial cancer had metastasized into her lungs. It was a whole big thing. And I had my daughter 3 days after we spent all night in the ER. And then 10 months later, my mom passed away and I became my sister's guardian and caregiver.
Oh my
So
goodness, Laura.
when you're a single parent and you're a guardian and caregiver to a special needs person, you live a very isolated life. You do not get out. And I went from partying every day, like I was out every day, every weekend, out with friends. I was never home, never home. My house was where I slept and kept my clothes and showered, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went from that to being at home 24/7, taking care of other people. And then COVID hit. So then you're even more isolated, right? Then
Isolation on
you
top of isolation.
right. And I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, because I was in lockdown. You watch a lot of Netflix, and I started watching a lot of the cult documentaries, but a lot of the other cults have ended. You know what I mean? So like the
Jim Jones is gone.
right, they did their thing, they're gone. And what's the ones where they all wore the
Heaven,
black? Heaven's
Heaven's
Gate.
Gate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lived in a very small town, very close to the Dalles, Oregon, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where the Rajneeshis
The
gave
Raj.
everyone right. So I was like, that's done. But I was like, what's going on with Scientology now? So that's how I got involved in going down the rabbit hole of, because it's still going on. It's, you know, the Danny Master. I was like, what's going on with Danny Masterson? That's how I started, you know, before it was just Tony Ortega reporting on it. And then Aaron started reporting on it. And Aaron was bringing up other things that they didn't even touch on in the series, you know, or they just, you know, mentioned it. And then so you just kind of get continually wrapped up in it. And then when the protests started happening, I was like, that looks like fun. Like Streets and Chris and Jessica Palmadessa just out there looking like they were having fun with other people. And you know, with YouTube, I was talking to chat, so I felt I was starting to feel like I had outside connection again with people outside my little bubble. And so I was like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do this. And I'm going to meet my friend Mandy, who's in the chat. And, you know, that's just kind of how it started. How about
So me, I was. You're frozen. Just you know. Or, oh no, you unfroze. You were frozen
I'm
just for.
I'm I'm just holding very still. I'm listening.
You're listening. You're good at that. So
Okay.
my mom had been involved in neurolinguistic programming way back in the day,
Okay.
which is kind of an adjacent, the forum, all those kinds of things that are kind of Scientology adjacent.
Right.
And I
Okay,
ended
Carrie,
up,
hold on. I'm going to try one setting to see if that helps with me freezing.
okay,
Okay, go ahead.
so I was in a Scientology adjacent group for a while, and it ended poorly and unpleasantly for all involved,
Okay.
and caused a lot of fallout and trauma right about the time that my grandmother died. So it was all
All
tied
at
up
once.
and miserable. I was my grandmother's primary caregiver.
Right.
And so that was about 15 years ago now that all ended and my grandma died. And so I think it was with the pandemic that I started watching Aaron Smith Levin, and it was just, I'd always known about Scientology. I've known about Xenu. I've known all this stuff, but it
Right.
started kind of even more deconstructing what I'd done in this Scientology adjacent group, right? And what it
Right.
had part of.
Right.
And so I just kept watching, and then I was watching Reese, and it was the connection with Reese
Yeah.
that really drew me in. The connection that she has with all of us, the connection that she fosters amongst her viewers,
Right.
and the connection even that is the anti-Scientology community, right?
Right.
There's a sense of connection that I've never felt in another organization that goes out and protests.
Right. Because we have this same purpose.
Well, I think, when people were protesting during the pandemic, they had all the same purpose, but somehow this feels different for me. It
Okay.
hits me different. I'm not sure what that is, but there feels like, because I know they felt connection to the people they were protesting
True.
with, right? One
True.
would assume, otherwise they
Right.
wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
So something about this I have felt connected to, and so it motivated me to take my little wheelchair and roll on out and just sit in front of the Portland org
Yes.
and
Get them to shut their blinds.
get them to shut their blinds.
I don't think we're ever going to get the blinds down in Seattle because the way, like, the street goes down and so the windows stay up. So we would have to, like, hold signs up and cameras up to see in. So I
You
don't
need
think we're
like
ever
you need like Jeff's 6 foot
stick of truth.
stick of truth. Exactly. That's
Yeah,
what you
I took my tripod and I held my tripod up as high as I could get it.
right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm hoping soon to get a polarized filter to
Yes.
clip over my camera so that maybe we can see through the windows and
Cut down on the glare. Yeah,
cut down on the glare. Yeah.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see. What's your most memorable interaction that you've had while protesting?
Well, I've only really had one.
It was a pretty memorable one.
I've only had one. When he said, there's not 10 million Scientologists, and I'm like, is
Thank
he
you.
not watching David's hard work? Is he
Right.
not seeing the videos?
Right.
I was like, wow,
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was helpful.
at least you're honest. And then at the end, when he said, I know I'm a Satan, and once I drop this body, I'm going to leave and go on to get a new body. I was just like, in the moment, I was like thinking to myself, you're a freaking idiot. But after going back and watching it, I felt really sad for him because he almost looked sad. He looked sad, like
Defeated.
not defeated, like he knew that his he was elderly and he knows that he's at the end, nearing the end.
Nearing the
Right.
end.
And
Yeah.
that mortality, like almost like, I don't know if he thought he believed it or he realized he didn't believe it,
Hmm.
you know, where so it was just sad. He looked like he knew that the end of this life was coming.
Right.
And he was like, I really hope it's true. Oh, it was just so sad. And so, oh, there's the Wiener.
There's the wiener. He wanted to come say hello.
Hello, buddy.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was really sad. You talked for him for quite a while, didn't you?
it seemed like forever. It seemed like forever, but it really, I don't even think it was like 5 or 10 minutes, maybe.
Really?
Yeah. And in the moment, and even when we were at the at Salty's and having that live with Reese, in my head, I was like, this is going so slow. There's so many gaps. But then when I go back and watch, I'm like, oh, okay, it was fine. There wasn't like
There wasn't like
awkward
long.
stalls.
Right.
No. And so in the moment with him, I felt the same way. I was trying to like get as much, I wanted to get him to think about stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like to really think about, I wasn't trying to convince him. I was trying to punch holes in his beliefs, like to, well, when I asked him, so Dave says there's 10 million. And if there's 10 million and there's 150 orgs around the world, that's 60. And I kept saying it wrong. It's 66,666 people per org. Are there that many people in this org? And just to like,
66,000. Wow.
yeah, even if we break it down to like, what is it, a tenth of that and say 6,000, are there even 6,000 in this org?
There
No,
can't possibly be. Not
there's
with.
not even 600. There's not even 600. And the fact that there are, and like I said in my live, or I did a reaction to
A
Jeff's
recap.
reaction.
Oh, right, right.
I said, I don't know if there were all elderly people there because of the time of day it was, because they're actually making strides to change and be like, okay, you can't have, minor people. And if you do, they have to go to school, that sort of thing. So I don't know if there's younger people on the evenings and weekends and the elderly people are just there during the weekdays. I guess we'll find out on Saturday because we're going for the birthday event.
You're going for the birthday event. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait to watch everybody else's stream. I'm going to be
Yeah.
there for the birthday event. Sure.
I believe Cat ACDC fan and Uncle Dave are going to meet me there.
That's
So,
great. And
yeah.
here, Marissa says she's so excited to meet other Seattle people. I've been lurking the downtown building, but it's so sketchy to stop for long.
Okay, Marissa, you're at the Life Center that is on, I think it's Pine and Third. Yes, don't go there. Save yourself. It is not worth going there. It's never open. You want to go to the one that's on Harrison. Harrison? I don't know the exact address, but it's closer to the Space Needle.
Yeah, she
And
says yes, Pine.
yeah, don't go to that one. Don't, it's not worth putting your life in danger. Because, yeah, that one is really sketch. And I asked Nora in a live recently, I said, what's the term? And I'll maybe Reese, because I know Reese uses this term a lot. There's a Scientology term where, like, say, for instance, you're going into course or you're going to an event and you have to look, clean cut. But if you don't, I can't remember. I don't know if it's outroods or valence or something like you need. I can't remember because I want to make a sign that says Scientology, your life center org is whatever the term is, because it is frightening to go. When Reese said, oh yeah, Seattle downtown is really bad. It's so weird. You go over 2 blocks and it's like, oh my God, yeah, it's bad. But then 2 blocks up, out ethics. I don't think it's out ethics. It's some other term. As soon as
Okay.
somebody says it, I'll be like, yes, that's it. It's not out ethics. It's something to do with,
Leslie Martin, yes, I did.
what was the question? I didn't see it. Washington Falls City. I was showing our friend brunch live stream. Yes, in Falls City.
Yes, I did live in the valley. I lived in the valley for a
In
long
Falls City.
time. Hmm.
Hi Liz, out PR. I don't think it's PR, Liz. Sorry, sweetie. It what's valence? What's the term valence?
Let's ask the chat what's a valence. They haven't come through yet, so let's give them a minute.
And I don't think it's out rudes, because rudes has to do with when you go into session. If you've eaten and slept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting it right? I feel like I've watched enough Scientology content that I know what the heck. Outvalence is the thing it means that you're not being yourself correctly. Maybe that's it. Outvalence. I know Reese uses the term a lot.
Okay, I don't remember hearing it.
Yeah.
Here, Brian says
Case on post. No, case on point has to do more with like your job.
Okay.
This is when you look pretty and don't look like a hot mess.
Right.
If you look a hot mess, they use you're out this term, whatever it is. Anyway,
Leslie Martin, tell her hi back. She says, a mutual friend in the valley. It's so nice. Such a small world.
Fun. It is a small world, because guess what? I was in Fall City. No. So I lived in Issaquah for a while.
Okay.
I have a friend that owns a farm called Wildwood Ranch up in Fall City, and that's where I borrowed the bunny from. So I don't know if you saw the bunny pictures that I had. I haven't posted.
Did. I remember seeing that you were going to do those in Fall City. Yes.
Yeah. So that's where we get the bunny from.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It's nice because we borrow the bunny for a week and then it destroys our house, and then it can be like, okay, back to the farm you go.
My older kids went to school there. It's an amazing, amazing community.
Yeah.
And I've missed it since I left.
Yeah.
And this community gives me that same sort of feeling of being supported.
Right. And that's also when Erin says something like, you know, it's the smallest town in the USA or something. I'm like, I grew up in a very small town. Like, there were 87 people in my graduating class. There's only 3,500 people in the whole town.
Wow.
And so when all this drama goes on, and like, oh my God, it feels like home. It feels like all the drama I experienced back home. So just kind of that,
That's
you know,
the town feel of it.
Yeah, it felt very at home. Yeah, very familiar. Yeah. So
Pamela wants me to check out PR. Yeah, we talked about out PR, Pamela. I'm not sure if Laura thinks that's the one.
I'm gonna have to ask Reese, because she'll know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out PR. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just thinking of something else.
Dee Dee asked this, and Marissa says she contacted the governor about tax exempt status.
How did that go?
Yeah, tell us more about that, Marissa. And Marissa also says you can look up your legislative district and get direct emails, go down the whole list. Yes, you can. You can just go Google what's my legislative district. I mean,
right.
Google will figure that all out. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I just haven't. I've got so much to do.
Well, you're busy. You're busy.
But I also don't do a lot too. So it's like, I want to go to the people running for office and ask them, you know, what their stance is, what their thoughts are on having investigations into revoking Scientology's tax exempt status. So I have the time. I just can't get myself out there to do it, because I got to find where they are, and then I got to find the time.
It's funny. That's something I would have done before, with send letters and do support, but somehow it feels better doing the protesting. And
I think it's because we're very instant gratification.
That's true. And it feels so amazing to have them pull the shades in a minute, right?
Right. When you go to that org and they drop those blinds in 90 seconds of you rolling up,
That
That's like,
is true. That's
I
like
did something.
dopamine to my brain.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you send a letter,
There isn't the same dopamine
it's
reaction.
gone out into the abyss and you have no idea if they've even seen it.
So
It could just get round filed.
so here's the question then from the both of us who've never thought that protesting is effective before. Do
Right.
we now think it's effective, or do we agree with what Mike Rinder's perspective is that it's just a bunch of nonsense? I mean,
It
I
depends on what your goal is. Now, is our protesting going to get rid of their tax exempt status? No,
no,
no. But our protesting is stopping them from getting more people in.
right.
It's putting that block between them and new recruits. It's shutting down their test centers. It's them locking their front door.
Just
That
the other day, just the other day, I was out protesting and they closed the shades, but they didn't close all the shades. And I
okay.
could not figure out why. It was the weirdest thing. They'd never done that before. They just left 3 shades up. What? That
They missed them.
they didn't miss them. 2 kids walked out of the org and we talked to them and they'd been in there. And so I was like, you need to look up Scientology online. You need to do your research about this.
Oh
And
my.
then after the kids left,
Kids, are we talking like young
kids
adult
for me,
kids or minor
young
kids?
adult kids,
Okay. Right.
20s, early 20s.
Right.
Um, I went around the corner and they'd pulled the blinds. They'd left those blinds up because the kids were in there.
Right. Right.
Right.
Wow.
Liz,
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Rinder has said that. I think you're asking about Mike Rinder, if Mike Rinder said that picketing isn't effective. And I don't know that he said that. I don't know that I could. So it's probably sloppy of me to suggest that he said it. But I think it's been highly inferred that the
Yeah.
protesting and the Squirrel Squad are just, at least that's the impression I've gotten by him saying there are people who do the work and there are people who observe. And I got the definite impression that
Well, just the fact that he isn't, or he didn't highlight them and is not being like, hey, look at what these people are doing, you know?
right.
You would think that if he would think it was an effective way, he would encourage them to do it. I don't
Right.
know.
Marissa, I don't think I hold the Shade Tech record. I think that got broken, and I'm thinking Chicago, but I'm not sure. Maybe Fluffer Squirrel knows. I think somebody got shades pulled in 30 seconds, and I haven't managed to do that. Although yesterday, Fluffer Squirrel did say it was less than a minute when they started pulling the shades.
Yeah. They're like, they see you're coming down the street on the cameras. Like,
Right. Pamela says the protesting brings awareness to the weirdness.
100%. Like, it was really difficult to talk to the people going by on the street because you could tell a lot of them were like going to work or getting home from work, and you're like, you don't want to stop them and interrupt their day. They, they just want to go
There's
home.
there's a lot of people that I just let walk on by because it's clear that, but some people I say, hey, and we talk about Scientology being a cult, and we've gotten
Yeah.
really good engagement
Yeah.
from people going, oh yeah, it's a cult.
Yeah. I had engagement from one guy. I think I want to say his name was Aaron, but I think he was trying to sell an electric, so it's a single wheel electric like wheel.
Oh, like scooter thing that you
Yeah,
stand on.
at the very very end of when I was there. So like in the last maybe 3 5 minutes of my live stream, we talked for quite a bit, and I asked him, because he said I live right
I
across the
remember
street.
that. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
And I was like, do you ever see people here? Like, he's like, no, there's never anybody there, except in the summer they have barbecues and cookouts. And I was like, oh, so, and he goes to them, he gets a hot dog or whatever. And I said, so do they try and sell you stuff? And he's like, no. And I'm just like, how is that?
I
Okay.
guess you're going to find out this summer.
We have a little bit of a different beast here in Seattle. And I'm wondering how much things will change, if,
Right. Well, I
yeah.
think you guys don't have any Sea Org members in Seattle. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure
Well,
why Portland has more Sea Org than Seattle does. I want to go back to this comment because it was really interesting. Hold on.
okay. I think the staff and the Sea Org, there is a large cluster of independents in Squim. Yes. So I forget her name, and Mandy contacted her. I want to say Vicky. Tony Ortega's done an article on her. She's
Mm-hmm.
got short, straight blonde hair. She's an independent Scientologist in Seattle. She's protested at the Seattle org, trying to be like, hey, whatever David Miscavige is doing here, he's, squirreling Scientology. He's not following, the disconnection and the abuse and the fundraising. That isn't Scientology. I don't know. Seattle, so it says it's hard in Seattle. People are almost immune to protest. Mm, Seattle's very Victoria Palmer. Yes, thank you, Liz. Yes, she's an independent Scientologist here in Seattle, and Mandy contacted her and spoke with her a bit about it. But have you ever seen my mom in Seattle? Okay, Liz, I looked for her. I think I would know what your mom would look like if I saw her on the street, but there were some that were kind of far away. So if her hair grew out at all, I don't know that I would recognize her, because I remember her from that Victoria Palmer video. And I've asked you before, and whenever you figure out what you would want to say to your mother, I would be happy,
Oh, that's
happy
so
to
sweet.
deliver a message.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So I didn't see her. There were many people there her age. And, afterwards I was like, I don't think any of them were Liz's mom, but I
Right.
could have not just recognized her.
Well, this Saturday will be a good time to look out for that.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
this
And I
Saturday.
wanted,
Great.
I have a very loud voice, so I can like shout into the parking lot and be like, Natalie Webster says she got all her gains after leaving, just things like that. Just things to make them stop and think. Like, they know. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So I have to tell you about the most yesterday while we were
Okay.
protesting.
Yes.
We were just sitting there, and all of a sudden, you know how like a 12-year-old runs and you can pick out the way it sounds, right? We
Yes.
heard that coming across the street toward us.
Okay.
And then appeared a little girl, probably 10 or 12, in curls.
Mm-hmm.
And she walked into the org and signed in.
Okay.
So my first thought was, oh my God. And my second thought was, whoever let her out of the car saw us protesting here and let her out to make her walk through the protesters to get into the building.
Okay. Maybe they knew you guys wouldn't do anything to her.
I hope so. I mean, but just if we'd said anything, I mean, just like
Right.
12-year-old go through something like that, let alone having them go into the building. I'm just broken up about it. I'm
Yeah.
just broken
I'm
up.
tearing up. I'm trying not to think about it because I don't want to
Yeah,
Tammy saying
that's
this.
so disturbing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
They'd have
yeah.
made her walk past us. And here's Liz.
You can just ask her if she knows her grandson is graduating high school this year. I would be happy to do that. I would be happy to do that, Liz.
That's exciting, Liz. It's
And
really
I'm
exciting.
very loud. She will hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her name is, what's your mom's name, Liz?
It is Marie Gale.
Marie Gale. Okay. Marie Gale. Okay. I will
Yeah.
make sure. Because
Yeah.
she kind of has red hair like you, Liz, right? But it's more grayed out a little bit, but it does still have a red
She was
undertone.
striking, probably.
Yes. The Who doesn't have Liz Gale hair envy?
Not me. I certainly have Liz Gale hair envy. I
That's
dream of having hair red like that. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
beautiful.
So where do you see yourself going forward in the protest? Just still doing the same thing? Going to change anything up at all?
I think doing the same thing. I'm thinking about figuring out how to add a sign to my repertoire because it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for me to hold a sign and hold my camera and make the wheelchair go, right? I don't have
Can you put it on the back
three
somehow?
hands. I could put it on the back, I could put it around my neck. I'm trying
Mm-hmm.
to get creative thinking about that, but I need to wait to do that until the weather dries up
Yeah,
because um
yeah.
I need to wait till the weather dries up because being out there yesterday trying to hold an umbrella in my chair with the it was something else.
You need one of those clips so that you can put your umbrella on the clip.
I need to figure out how to clip my umbrella to the wheelchair. That's for damn sure.
Oh, Liz, I would be kind to her. Yes. I just can't stop believing her hair is great.
Gray anymore, to be honest. And I think it's
Okay.
short, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Liz, you're
I
making
did see, and I knew she had been up there to confront Victoria, but I didn't know if she was permanently at the Seattle org.
right.
Liz, did you see um my live stream from L. Ron Hubbard's birthday? I don't expect you to watch all of them, but there were a couple people that went in. And like I said, there was one woman that tried to go in through the front door, but they had locked it, so she had to go around. And then when we went to check out the back area, there's a ramp, and there were a couple of women. One of them had really bad knees. You could tell. She was like, she's got bad knees. And they were kind of at a distance, so I really couldn't tell if they were your mom or not. And like I said, I don't know that I would fully recognize her if I did, but I will be sure to, when I think I see somebody, I'll be like, I know you be kind. Yes, not too far. Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I'm starring comments as we go. So we'll go through all the starred comments.
Yeah, Liz, Jeff from PTS for Life did a reaction video to a clip of the interaction that I had with a guy. He said he had been in Scientology for 50 years. Um, and he dropped off a woman. So I'm like, I'm almost positive that was not your mom. Not your mom. Because I also went through my live stream and tried to screenshot the people that went in, um, mostly so I could count how many people went in and out. And I could only count maybe 4, 6 at the most people that went into the org, went in and out of the org. Again, it was like at noonish, so I don't know what they were doing there. So yeah, we'll see how it goes on
We'll see
Saturday.
how it goes. So you're going Saturday. I'm going Saturday.
Yeah,
What do you think we're gonna find? I saw yesterday they had a FedEx delivery coming in with party supplies.
I have honestly, I imagine people will drive into the parking lot and probably be, shuttled in very quickly into the
For
org. Yeah. So I don't know that. Um, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what we're just going to see people driving into the parking lot and walking straight into the building. I don't think, and I think because I think their parking lot is private property, possibly because all of the stalls are labeled Church of Scientology parking. So I think their parking lot is private property. Um, and I just don't want to test that theory. So I'm going to stay on the sidewalk.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. So,
We've had the cops arrive a few times in Portland
yeah.
when I've been there, and they've been okay. But I don't want to give. I don't want to give. They now that they're calling the cops for us just sitting there. I don't want to give them any reason.
Right. You don't want to anything that they can miss and like skew to be like,
Right.
yeah.
Right. In fact, I think they called the cops for what a passerby was doing
Oh,
and blamed it on us.
of
Yeah.
course. Of course they did. Of course they did. Yeah. So I just feel like I want to have signs so that they can read them on
Mm-hmm.
the way in. I have a list of signs that I'm going to make. So if there's anybody in the live chat that has ideas for signs,
You know pup groomer signs, right?
I know Pup Groomer. I have not seen her signs.
Pup groomer on her page, she has a link for free to flyers and signs that are all made and completed. All you have to do is go to her page, go and print them out. They're all
Yeah.
ready to go.
Well, I got big like foam core so that they're
Oh,
big,
so they're big. So you're gonna
big.
draw
So
on them.
people can see them when they're driving in because they're not like, I'm not going to be able to make contact with them because
Yeah,
they're going to be they're going to be driving in and going in through the back door probably.
most likely they're not going to be walking around the building.
Right. So
No,
I'm going to
got
make
other people coming down there with you?
um Cat ACDC and Uncle
Oh, that's
Dave.
right, Cat ACDC.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
anybody else that would like to join, please. It's going to be a party.
it's going to be a party. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make a sign that says curious with all of the YouTube channels like, Serge, Aaron, Natalie Gale or Natalie Liz Gale. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure I
Mm-hmm.
put yours up at the top, Liz.
Absolutely.
Marie Gale, your daughter has a YouTube channel. You should check it out.
Here's Pup Group.
You can take the files to any local printer and have them print large and glue them on the foam. I just might do that. Are they yellow? Because funny story, I couldn't
You've
find,
got enough skill, you could probably edit any files she's got to
yeah,
be the
true.
color stuff you want. Yeah.
I have a backdrop that I got for a photo shoot, and it's yellow, and I've never used it again. And I'm like, I'm never going to use this. So I'm like, I'm going to cut the paper backdrop and make my signs, glue that and write on it. But if I don't have to take the time to write everything and make sure I didn't misspell anything. So I'll check out the files, Pet Groomer. Thank you. Yeah.
They're really,
And
she's done a lot of work, and she's got them all updated now with the aftermath info.
or you mean SPTV Foundation?
SPTV, yeah.
See, and I want to do both. I want to have Aftermath Foundation and SPTV because the Aftermath Foundation right now has a lot of money that they can give to people.
That they can give to people. Absolutely.
That they're supposed to give to people.
I think that people should be able to have a choice. And I think having foundations is a just fine thing.
Yes, yes, 100%. Yes.
I'm not sure why anybody would think otherwise. Like more money, more people working to make things better.
Yeah. And I applaud anybody that donates because I have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of money. So
yes.
Yeah. I will contribute in other ways.
Exactly. By doing what we're doing. By doing what we're doing.
Yeah. But I want to do like 80 protest flyers available. Okay. I want to make a sign that says like, what's your retirement plan? And because I think for the people at our org, the Rosemary Chickawatt story will have more of an impact.
Yes, I think so too.
And that's when I'm going to make them hear, like, I'm going to just yell, like, she's not dead. The church dumped her at a hospital and she got proper medical care and reconnected with her son. And I quote, that LRH is a piece of shit. Best thing ever when Rosemary called LRH a piece of shit.
Yes, it was. It was. Pup Groomer says she's got one that says that. You should look.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, and I want to have
great stuff.
Yeah, and like Carrie said, I could probably add to it if I need to, because I want to make sure that it has Mike Brown's channel on there with her name so that they can search it, so that they can find her story and watch her story.
Right.
Because I think that will have more of an impact. And in the Aftermath series, one of the shows was, or a portion of a show was about the one guy that donated to the IAS hundreds of thousands of dollars for the building. And he ended up, I think, getting declared, and they didn't even put his name on the building like he was promised with all the hundreds of thousands of dollars he donated. So I think the Chase wave, I'm going to have that on there. And so whatever I can find, and probably put groomers signs.
Marissa says, elders are treasures. Are you being treated like you matter? Do you have a 401k retirement and health care?
Yeah.
We got what you meant, Marissa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pamela, Tori Magoo might be another good one for this Seattle org. Tell us what you mean by that, because Tori's down in LA.
Yeah,
I would love her to have her in Seattle and Portland.
Yeah.
I think she's in LA for right now.
Yeah, she lives down there.
So guys,
she's always doing stuff with Laura FM and DOA and Jessica Palmadessa.
Guys, if you have any questions for us about why we started doing this or how we got here, please pop them in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm running out of questions. What's your goal for protesting? Because everybody has a goal of what they want to.
I don't have a goal.
Okay.
I don't. It's very hard for me to get up there because an hour drive. And if I get up there and I get stuck in traffic, like it could take me 3 hours to get home because of
Right.
traffic. And come summer, when the kids are out of school, it'll be even harder for me to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it, I really just, I want to make it out there for the big things, like when I
Mm-hmm.
know people are going to be there, because there's not
It's
people
really
going into
slow.
that
I think
org.
it's even slower at the Portland org or at the
And
Seattle org than it is at the Portland org. You guys,
yeah,
it's like nothing. It's
there's
like,
not nothing. Yeah. So like when I know there's going to be people going into the org, I'm going to try and make it up there. And I just got lucky that my cousin was like, sure, I'll take the kids. And I was like, oh, good.
oh, good. That's what family's for, to talk
Right.
to kids.
See? And that's the other thing. Like, my family is so close. Like, I'm closer to my cousins than some people are to their own brothers and sisters. And it just
Mm-hmm.
seems so sad to me that they don't have that family connection. Like, my kids don't understand how my cousins' kids are not their cousins. Like,
Right.
I have to be like, well, they're cousins, but
They're
they're like
cousins, but
second
they're like
cousins once
cousins, second,
removed.
right. Second cousin
Right,
moved.
right. And
Right.
so, yeah, it's just we go camping with our family every year, and so
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I really protest is the disconnection and
yes,
the lack of the disconnection from everything. The
yes,
complete and utter, like, you have to be assimilated into the Borg and be disconnect. You can only connect with these people, but you're not really connected with these people. You're just a part of the machine,
right, right. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That
And
that
just the whole thing about how children are grown adults, or like
children are
adults and
children are adults in small bodies.
yes, that. Like,
Yes.
because during the pandemic, um, Luke was two, three, and Lucy was like 5, 6, somewhere like, so Lucy was 4 when the pandemic started. Yes. No? 5. She was 5, Luke was 3. That's it. Had to do math.
So you didn't get to start school on time.
No,
Wow.
no. But so after listening or binging the Aftermath series a few times,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
binged the Fair Game podcast
Aha.
and the Vales not yeah, Valeska, the Valeska story, and I had to turn it off. Like, I was sobbing and like, oh, I couldn't listen to it anymore, and I just brought my babies in and was like, how could
How can
anybody
anybody-
do that to their baby? And you
Yeah,
can't, maybe they're old spirits, but their bodies are babies.
their
They're
brains
they're right, right.
that
Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah, that was just hard for me and just all that. And, I think Jenna Miscavige said in one of her interviews that the child abuse in Scientology doesn't exist like how it existed when her and Laura and Serge and Mike and Sterling were in, which makes complete sense. There's no more cadet org, there's no more pack ranch, there's no more gold base ranch, there's none of that. But she did say that the child abuse still does exist, how like Liz Gale experienced it, how Reese experienced it, how because there's children in the families that are practicing Scientologists. They're public Scientologists who have children that are raised in it.
Like the
And
child who ran past us into the Portland org.
right. 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it broke my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll get that in Seattle. I think we have more
The elder
elderly.
abuse. Yeah.
100%. And I think in Seattle, it's going to be more fundraising money because Seattle's full of a bunch of rich techie and Amazon and,
That'd be a great way to get the word out there.
yeah.
That'd be a great way to get the word out there.
Hide your wallets. Scientology is at exchange.
Let's look at some of these questions for a minute.
Go for it. Awesome.
Brian says he got you beat. He graduated with 13 people, including himself.
I had a friend that had moved from Goldendale to a small town, George, Washington, and she had 12 people in her graduating class. Yeah. The funny, not so funny story is my class started out with 131, but only 87 graduated.
Wow.
And the two girls that walked behind me during commencement during graduation, one of them had her baby 3 weeks before graduation, and the other one had just had her baby 3 days before.
Wow. But they graduated.
They did. They did. They did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Good times. Peter says Mike Rinder was praising Jessica Palmadessa very early in the protests.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I remember that. But it seems I have gotten the impression, and maybe I'm wrong, but I have gotten the impression from watching Mike Rinder that he thinks the protests.
Maybe it's not Mike Rinder, or maybe it's more Chris Shelton.
Chris Shelton. No, watching Mike Rinder specifically, I've gotten because I haven't watched anything Chris Shelton does. I haven't liked Chris Shelton. I didn't like Chris Shelton before I even knew what I never liked Chris Shelton.
Yeah.
But my point is that, so I haven't watched Chris Shelton, so I've really gotten that impression from Mike that the protesters he thinks is a waste of time.
Okay, my phone's dying. Hold on.
Okay. Need to plug in.
Plug it in, plug it in.
Fluffer Squirrel says Chicago has the fastest time, but they would need to check. It's very close, though. You finding it?
I think so. The question is hold on, guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
Don't look at my messenger.
Nobody's.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. We're plugged in. We've avoided disaster.
Now if I can get my camera. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Sandy Lee says the protesters bring the eyes, ask questions, the eyes push for change. Plant the seed. You're doing great. I think that's true. I think it's bringing attention to what's going on and raising the knowledge of people out there, right? That's as much what it's about, is interacting with the public as they walk by.
Awareness, because even that guy that came and talked to me at the end, he's like, are you filming a TikTok? And I'm like, no, actually. I'm not. I'm on YouTube, but
I'm on YouTube live. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just, even if we don't say anything, they'll be like, what's the deal with the cameras?
Exactly. Well, all I've got is a camera in the wheelchair, and they're like, what's the deal? Yeah. Marisha says, what yard sale sign with the little stakes attached to my chair? That's a brilliant, brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. And GM Flower says apron tech.
apron tech.
Did you see somebody made aprons?
Yes,
And
with Danny's mugshot on
yeah,
it, wasn't it? Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing that I think also will impact the Seattle people because they're older and they're giving money. And it's like your money is going to cover up his actual crimes, his, you know, and
Exactly.
to harass his victims and to silence his victims. That's what your money is going for.
Yes.
Why is he still a Scientologist in good standing? Like,
Come on, you
yeah.
guys.
On the sign tech on your chair,
Yeah.
zip ties are a good, like, get some zip
Zip
ties.
ties are a great idea. I was thinking
Yeah.
duct tape, but you're right. Zip ties will be
Zip
much better.
ties. Yeah.
Zip
Because then
ties
you could just
will be
snip it right off and
exactly.
yeah.
Liz Gale, umbrellas downtown is a mess. Liz, you're hilarious. Remember the last time you were downtown with an umbrella? The wind completely inverted her umbrella. She had to fix it while
Oh
she
my
put her
goodness.
camera down. It was adorable.
Yeah.
Lisa,
Luckily,
go ahead.
when we were out there, it was sunny.
It
It
was
was like the first sunny day and so forever. So I was just out there like soaking in all the vitamin D.
Sign-Tech doesn't work in the rain. Exactly.
Yeah. Unless it's
Exactly.
printed on vinyl or something.
So when Pamela brought up Tori, she was thinking about Tori's story and picture might play well in
Yeah.
Seattle, is what
Okay.
she said. Yeah. Patrick, I'd love to know more about what Streets was thinking of in Seattle last night. That's interesting. I didn't catch that last night. Did you watch Streets last night, Laura?
No. I'm gonna have to go back. I didn't
I'm going
watch
to have
last
to go
night.
back and watch last night. Yeah. Pup groomer. I'm going for my first protest in this on the 6th in Vegas. I can't do in person often or regularly because I live so far out in the middle of nowhere, 250 miles to closest Vegas or Salt Lake.
Yeah.
On the
Go
6th,
for it.
pup groomer, go for it. Have a good
Yeah.
time.
Dual purpose trip. That's
Yes,
what two birds, one stone.
yes. Maya says the similarity to the Borgs are scary, right?
Yes.
Right.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated.
Oy.
Marissa says the UN Declaration of Children's Rights would be a good source for our signs. Take some key points from there. That's
That's the other
great.
thing. Yeah, because I feel like especially people that were born in or people that were trafficked from other countries, they don't know what their rights are. Like Natalie has
Exact
said, she didn't know she was being child trafficked.
like
So I
Rita
want to, we
didn't.
need to figure out something
Yeah,
that says, well, in on another, like I wanted to be like, if you're a religious volunteer, why do you get a freeloader's debt? And FYI, they're not enforceable. They can't make you pay them.
right.
So I think if people knew that they didn't have to pay those
The
freeloader debts, that maybe they would be more willing to leave.
right. One would hope. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got some kids can't consent sign, but I'm not even sure that Scientologists understand
know what that means.
what
Yeah,
that means, right?
yeah,
I'm not convinced they understand what that means.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I tried Googling like what human rights were, but there were so like many. It was like, how do you condense that into something short and meaningful that will have an impact on them specifically? So
Yeah. Okay, now we're back to the other comments.
there's an applied scholastic school in Englewood, New Jersey called the Ability School. They call LRH humanitarian on the website.
Can you
Yeah,
believe this shiz? Can you
yeah.
believe this shiz? Yeah.
And just the fact, I
Go ahead.
don't understand why Scientologists don't see he was hiding like the last few years of his life. He was never doing anything for like he wasn't public. Like he wasn't front facing for the Scientologists the last few years of his life because he was literally hiding from the law.
Right.
And he died in a trailer in, like, don't they see that?
Well, they don't see that because they're disconnected from everything around them. So, of course, that's the way it is,
I
right?
just wonder what the cognitive dissonance is. Like, how do they explain that away? Like,
And all the drugs, I
right. But they probably, oh,
they
well,
probably don't. That's
that's
not true. That's
manufactured.
manufactured information.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
we see the same thing going on in the world outside of Scientology, right?
Yes. Fake
So,
news.
fake news. There you go. Folly Songs agrees with me about Chris Sheldon. I don't know. I just don't like him. I've never liked him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pup groomer, one of my whys. I grew up only about 30 minutes from Clearwater, so I've been following the movement since I was a kid. Wow, pup groomer.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Marissa says the protesters are documenting the crimes of the cult, letting them dig their own hole with video evidence.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of it too. They keep calling the cops. They keep doing this stuff that just makes them
Look worse.
look worse. Yeah.
Well, and it's also exposing the fact that they're being lied to. Like, it's the fastest growing religion on earth, and we're having to expand and expand and expand. And then people are only isolated to their org, and they're going, oh, it must be just our org. They're opening a new org in Austin. They're opening a new org in Chicago. So
So it
they must
must
have more
be
people there.
it must how many ex Scientologists have we heard say I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
I thought it was only me,
Yeah.
right? I
So
thought
we're documenting that it's not just
it's
your
not just
org.
you. It's not just your org. It's every
No.
place. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Natalie said this, maybe it was Natalie. Somebody said it recently that if Scientologists are on the internet at all, the more anti-Scientology content that's available, the more likely they are to see anti-Scientology comment. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yes. Yes. Because even if you put a thumbs down on a video, it's still boosting the algorithm.
It's still boosting the algorithm.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's why when I see something I don't like, I just swipe past it real quick.
Right.
Don't give them the
Right.
views. Don't give them a thumbs down or a thumbs up. Just swipe past real quick.
Here you have another Seattleite who wants to join for a protest. Sweet Lily
Sweet
Love.
Lily Love. Awesome. So funny
Do you
story when,
do you have an
go ahead.
email? Do you have an email, Laura?
So
Not
the
yet.
best
Okay.
place to contact me is probably just on Facebook, but then I'm not taking a lot of new friends requests, but you can still message me on there, and I keep
Okay.
an eye out in my chat requests. Because I do have email. I have two emails already, but one's for my business and one's for my personal. And I don't want to like bog down my business with this
Of
stuff. And then
course,
my
you need a
personal,
third email.
yeah, I apparently so.
Yeah.
Apparently I do need a third email.
You need a third email.
Because my personal one is so full of junk. When
Oh,
people send me stuff, I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, you cannot send me emails because half the time I don't get them. Period.
you just do email bankruptcy and create a whole new email.
I probably do need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's connected to so many logins and everything. I'm like, yeah.
I understand. It's hard. Change is hard. Change
Yeah,
is
change is hard. Maybe that should be a sign. Change is hard, but it's good.
Clue Blue 64. Appreciate you both. My kids and grandkids miss their dad and grandpa. For years, I thought he was just being inattentive. Since watching Aftermath and SBTV, I know about disconnection. So thank you.
Oh, so is your
Dad, it sounds like his dad is a
so your ex so it says my kids and grandkids. So
yeah.
dad and grandpa. So they're still in and you're out. I wonder what org they go to. If we can get a message to them as well.
Yeah, let us know.
If you feel like sharing more details, we have loud voices.
We do have loud voices.
My nickname as a kid was Laura Loud.
That's hilarious. Pamela says kids should be outside playing. Amen
Yes.
to that. Amen
My
to that.
kids have half days this week for conferences, and they came home and I gave them lunch, and then I said, "Now, go away, get outside,
Go away, go outside and
go
play.
play." And then they
Not
were
ready.
gone for hours, so it was great.
Oregon Valley Girl missed the notification. Enrica says she's at work. She'll catch the replay.
Awesome.
Amy says hello. Marissa, totally leave messages in the comment. You started a Facebook Seattle Squirrels?
Oh. I have to get really close because I can't see. It's very tiny.
Okay. What about leaving messages in the comments? I want to join too. I started a Facebook Seattle Squirrels.
Okay.
So you should go check out Seattle Squirrels.
And if you're on,
use your community page because you've got a community page.
Yes. You can post things. I made a post about this conversation that we're having. You can either put in those comments, just comment on this video or on that community post that I made about this video.
That's a great thing to do.
And I'll catch them. Yeah.
Thank you, Fluffer Squirrel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fluffer Squirrel. We all praise Fluffer Squirrel.
Is Fluffer Squirrel the one that's doing the list too?
Yes.
Okay. Good job, Fluffer Squirrel.
We love
and
Fluffer.
I know what a fluffer is, but I think in the UK it means something different.
Marissa says her why is that she was a curious kid trying to make sense of my own abuse, got a Dianetics book when I was 13 and thought, what the fuck, this is whack, and obsessed with the cult since the 80s. Wow, yeah. Marissa.
See, I've never been a book reader. Never. Like I don't enjoy it. So the fact that people can read that dribble, that word salad crap makes my brain hurt. I'm like, how do you guys do that?
Right.
Yeah.
CUL Blue says 64 says not the kids, just their dad was a Scientologist.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that disconnection has got to be really hard.
We can say your kids miss you.
Here's Laura's channel, y'all. If you're watching on mine, make sure and go over to Laura's channel, XPTV Z News Seattle, and give her a subscribe.
Yeah.
Please. As Nora says, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Hit the like and subscribe.
Maya says, I think even though it can feel like nothing is happening, all the videos you guys are making when you are out there, it will have a huge impact for the future. You are writing history.
Yeah. Well, even if the people in the Scientology that go into the buildings, just seeing us out there, I feel like it's making us a soft spot. Like it's kind of like putting a crack, just a little tiny crack. And I think over time, I don't think we're going to
cracks. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to convince them instantly. And another thing that I think will make an impact is that, like saying that Natalie left with 3 generations of her family. Like
that you
If
can.
you're thinking of leaving, maybe your family's thinking of leaving too, right? Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they thought it was only them. They thought it was
Right.
only them that wanted to leave. Well, because they didn't say anything. Their family also didn't say anything, and everybody wants to leave secretly.
Everybody wants to leave secretly. I thought it was only me. I didn't
Right.
know because I never talked to anybody. I never had any connection. Right.
And you can I would love to interview Natalie if she would let me. Like that would be fun. And just asking her, detailing out how did you do it so that people on the inside can go, that's how she did it. This is how a playbook, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that
Right.
they can figure it out for themselves on how to do it for themselves.
Yes. There is a
Yeah,
way. There is a
there is
way
a
to
way.
get out. You can figure it out. You don't
Yeah,
have to leave just by yourself. Yeah.
right.
It has been done. Right.
Because I think that's what would keep me in more than anything else is that I
The
would not,
fear.
the fear of losing my family.
That's what would keep me in, is the fear of losing my family.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. The disconnection policy is heinous.
yeah. Well, and even with Reese, the way she got outed and how she lost everybody. But look at
In
how much
one
she's
fell.
gained.
I know.
Look at
I
how much she's gained. So are those people in there really her family?
clearly
Her
not.
father never spoke to her anyway.
Well,
So
her father
is
her
a piece of
father is
shit.
beyond Scientology awful.
Right.
I'm like, he's irredeemable. He's
Right.
not just Scientology shit.
Right.
He's a
Yeah.
whole new another level there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah. Kids need play, not audit. I agree. Sign
Yeah.
ID. Kids need play, not audit. And
Yeah.
Fluffer Squirrel says, yes, it does have a different meaning here, just like Fanny does.
Right. Yeah. Fanny means our
Our
our butt
tushy.
and
Yeah, but don't say
buttocks.
that. But don't say that in Britain. Oh my goodness gracious. Like
Uh,
saying, see you next Tuesday. I had a dog in the tub. I'm 41 now, so I've been following the movement for a long time. Missed being able to get involved in the anonymous days due to a life situation at the time, but nothing is holding me back now. Pup Groomer,
awesome.
you are contributing so much to this community.
Yeah.
So
Just making the signs. Just
just
making the
make
signs.
signs. So many signs. You're doing
And
amazing.
see, I have ideas. I just don't have the bandwidth to do the work.
Right.
Right?
We all need like 6 assistants.
Right. And it's like, I feel like I know, like, I don't know how to do it myself, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody else would know how to do it
Mm-hmm.
and be more efficient at doing it rather than me struggling to figure it out for myself.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm struggling to figure out all the chat features while we're doing this the first
Right.
time. Yeah. Yeah.
Best way
Yeah.
to learn, just jump in with the both feet.
That's right. Lisa says they can't talk about leaving because they'll get a knowledge report written up about them. Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
That's true. But Natalie did it somehow.
Yes, she did.
How did she do that?
I I don't has she
Yeah.
told her? I need to go back and watch that video she did with Aaron the
With
first.
Erin. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
probably in there. I remember she said she used their own
Their own rules against them,
rules against them.
which is always, in my opinion, the most effective
100%.
strategy. Use
100%.
rules against them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I want to make signs that say Scientology is out exchange for the endless fundraising and the chase wave and the credit card fraud. Yeah.
That's totally a fact.
Because that's Scientology's own rule.
Mm-hmm.
The exchange.
That they're stealing from,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah.
Right. And when the whole Maya says when the whole thing is about to fall, all the videos that document the craziness will help it tip the right way.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And Amy, we do stay outside with the kids. Don't worry. I mean, I'm a kid of the 80s. I'm a Gen Xer, and she says, please stay outside with your kids while they play. There are too many creeps out there.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
We live in a very small, like it's a neighborhood. Houses are
Small
close together.
Yeah.
Tons of kids everywhere. People like there's I dare anyone to go up against the gang of 40 kids that are out there. My daughter even said, Mom, no one will ever take me because I'm too crazy. And I was
I'm
like,
too
oh my
crazy.
God.
Yeah, the kids nowadays are something else.
Yeah.
The kids nowadays are something else. Fluffer Squirrel is laughing at our comparisons to see you next Tuesday.
Right.
Maya has a great idea for a sign. Did you know that the person next to you wants to leave too?
1000%.
Maya,
Right?
great sign.
Good sign. We're on it. We're on it.
Yeah, Pamela, she said the whole story in her interview with Aaron. I need to go back and watch it. I don't
Yeah.
think I saw that whole one.
It was 4 hours long.
It was very, very long, and I don't think I had the time that day. And then, of course, things happen and you don't get back to things.
Right. And you just watched the newest one.
Right.
And you can't go
Right.
back. Yeah. I wonder if we can clip it out of there somehow.
How do you mean?
Just clip the portion out of there about how she did it.
Oh, I'm sure you can. You can take
Depending on how long it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
even take it and play it on an iPad.
True.
You could have multimedia presentations from the outside.
Yeah. We have screen tech too.
You have blind tech, we have screen tech.
Yeah.
My favorite British term to use politely is there we are then. Yes, I love that one. There we are then. Peter Anderson says, don't forget the gifts that the SO has to fund for David Miscavige and the executive when discussing out exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget the gifts that the SO has to fund. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to give gifts to DM and the execs out of
Yes.
their measly $47 a week
Yeah.
to pay for a gift for Dave, who's already using cult funds for his lifts and his hair plugs.
Right. Exactly.
Like how is
Pup Groomer's writing down your sign idea, Maya. It's a
good
great
deal.
one. And Mandy's here.
Hi, Mandy.
We miss you. I hope you're having a great time.
I think she's traveling, possibly. I'm
She
not sure.
is. I've seen
Yeah,
her live. She is not where you are anymore.
right. That's why she's not going to be there on Saturday.
Which is
But
unfortunate. Mandy, are you going to go down to the Philadelphia org on Saturday? Are you going to try and do that on Saturday? Amy says her favorite British
British expression.
thank you, British
You're welcome.
expression. I can say that is gobsmacked. I like
Yeah.
gobsmacked. I like
I
it.
like wanker.
I like sorted. Did you get it all sorted? Is everything all sorted? That one is one of my favorites.
Bloody wanker.
Maya says, do you know that Dave is bald? That's a great sign, but we saw your no pants. Just your legs.
I gotta watch out for that. Here, hold on. Go move a little closer. Here we
Patrick
go.
says, don't forget a sign about Dave's 5-star personal chef.
Oh, right.
That
And they
would
get roast and beans and have to jazz it up with mayonnaise. So horrible.
Amy says it took Natalie 2 years of planning. I know.
Yeah.
it's so impressive what she accomplished. It's just
Yeah.
beyond and beyond impressive.
Well, because it sounded like her
Her
oldest.
oldest was very ensconced in the Sea Org, and so
Yeah.
she had to
It took some finagling. It took
finagle.
some work.
Mandy, sorry about the pronouns. I apologize. I knew better than that. I will do better.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm bad at that too.
Marissa says, there we are then. TWAT. Exactly. Oh, it's the same as see you next Tuesday. There we are now then.
Yeah.
We didn't get it.
Now we know.
Now we know. So
Now we know.
what other things can we talk about why we started doing this? I mean, we've talked about that it's about the connection.
The
It's about
connection, people.
disconnection.
Yeah, about connecting with people against disconnection.
Yes. Yes.
um, just yeah, I don't know. Just the people that are involved in it already. Like how Streets is kind of like um
The First Amendment auditing piece of it and how that fits in is really interesting to me.
yeah.
Because, you know, I started watching Streets LA and Jessica when they started doing the Scientology thing, but that's in the same way I think that the First Amendment auditors have learned about Scientology. I think
Right.
we've learned more about First Amendment auditing,
Right.
right?
Like I would have never known that I don't have to give a cop my name unless they have, right?
Right. Right. And the number of people I've heard saying, I didn't realize the cops behaved like that.
Right.
And I have to look at it and go, well, I know there's a reason that I didn't realize that cops behaved like that. And that reason is the color of my skin.
Right.
And that I've never gone out I mean, I've never gone out peacefully to protest, right? So I've
Right.
not put myself in situations where I might see that happening either.
Right.
So of course we don't see it because we're
No.
sheltered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy, it is amazing how it exposes the corruption and the tentacles. Yes.
Mm.
Cameras everywhere. I mean, it's the thing about body cams, right? We all thought body cams would be the answer to cops, except now you can't, most places you can't get the body cam footage.
Right.
Right. So that's why we need the cop watchers because we can't get the body cam footage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and just the fact that it's from a different angle. Like
Right.
how
Right.
many how many times has a protester been attacked, but from their camera, you can't tell what's going on. But if you get it from another angle, you're like, that dude totally just hit Aaron in the head.
Exactly. Exactly. So multiple cameras, multiple
Yeah.
camera angles, it makes a huge difference. And just
When,
from the cop's perspective doesn't always give you the answer.
right.
Yeah. 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 Marissa says it's exposing the corruption between the police and how the cult has gotten away with their abuses. Well, the cult
Right.
has done the thing where they approach Scientology and what's it called? Safe
Safe
basing, safe
safe
point.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of folks do that. I mean, it's a way, it's a good way to get in with the cops.
See, and I thought about going into the police station that's there by the org and saying, hey, listen, here's what's going.
Really?
But the Seattle station that's right there next to it is not small like the Hollywood one. I don't know that I would be able to make contact with somebody that would be able to get it, the information to the right people,
Right.
right? So,
Yeah. Florida has the most transparency with their sunshine law. I'm assuming that means with the
Police.
police. Yeah.
Yeah.
And body cams. Oregon Valley Girl. They silo out all people so the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, even husbands and wives.
Yeah.
Unreal. And so this piece right here is the piece that when I watch Mike Rinder, I go, it is possible that he didn't know.
Yeah.
It is possible with all the
And
silence.
how many times have you signed a contract but not read the fine print?
Right.
I mean,
The problem here isn't whether he knew or didn't know. The problem is how he's responding.
1000%. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The problem,
Yes.
right. Because I'll grant maybe you didn't know. I think everybody will grant, well, not
Right.
everybody, but maybe you didn't know, but still, yeah, not cool. Not
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Pamela says the collaboration between live streamers and those watching has been fantastic and why this community keeps growing. And I totally agree, Pam. I think that's the other reason the comment about there's people who do the work and there's people who spectate really, really ticked me off because I wouldn't be here without y'all watching. Laura
Right.
wouldn't be here without.
I do it for the people.
I do it for
I
the
do it so I
people,
can talk to y'all in the
right?
live chat.
I do it so I can talk y'all in the live track. I do it because it's so great to see all the support.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's the only reason. I do it for all the other reasons too. But
Yeah. Well, of course.
but if nobody was watching, I think that's the piece that makes it different.
If nobody was watching, what would be the point?
Exactly.
Like if nobody's watching.
Just standing in a building doing something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael. I know LAPD gets paid by Scientology. I know that that's a case.
Yeah.
And I have heard that the the Hollywood division of the LAPD is allegedly corrupt.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Plain as the nose on your face.
That's really sweet, Fluffer, and that hadn't occurred to me. You're allowing us to protest vicariously through you all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It allows other people to get involved and feel like they're doing something. And as we do that, as you and I got encouraged, other people will be encouraged.
Yeah. And like Natalie was saying, if people are searching Scientology content, they're going to come up with it. And the more people watch, the more it's going to push out that content. Because if people are engaging in the streams and in the chats and liking and connecting, it's only going to spread.
One hopes.
Yeah.
We are like-minded, kind people who fight against something that is so wrong so we connect to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, go ahead.
It's so weird because I normally avoid this kind of fight,
I don't get involved this way.
I don't get involved. Yeah. Like the PTA. Like I'm not getting involved in the PTA. I'm not going down that road.
Oh, I did the PTA president thing. I did the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. I started to and I was like, what am I doing? And I'm like, I can't do this. Peace out.
Peace out.
Yeah. It just became too political and I was like, oh, it's so thankless. It's such a thankless job, the PTA and all that stuff.
It is a thankless.
Yeah. And that's why I guess because of the community, and it's such a cliche, cheesy word to use, but it's true. It is a community. And because of the community and the connections we're making, I think that's also what's making it worthwhile, is because if there was just, people disagreeing and fighting all the time, again, we wouldn't be doing it.
Right. Right. Although we do have people disagreeing and fighting all the time.
This is true.
The way Mike Render lies and attacks others over and over makes me think he is trying to take the spotlight off of him and covering things up. Yeah, it makes me think something. It
Yeah.
makes me think something. The drama, I mean, it does get political, but any group is going to
Yeah.
the PTA is a good comparison. There were always little infights
Yeah.
going on in the PTA, and the
And
important
oh, you can't say this. You'll offend somebody by saying that. You have to ask permission first. It's very
right,
culty.
right.
So yeah,
So that's always going to be that way, but the leadership of the community is what makes a difference. And the difference, I think, between Aaron and Mike is that Aaron is saying, y'all are making a difference.
right. And Aaron doesn't want to be the leader. Aaron's like,
He's the de facto leader, but
do
he's
your own
empowering
thing,
everybody.
please. Yeah.
Right. Right. Which is the best way to avoid infighting.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
your own thing. Make
Yes.
sure that it's advancing the cause. But if you're here, you're cool. Right.
Right. Right.
Whereas Mike
You don't.
Rinder is saying everybody has to do it my way.
Right. That's what I was going to say. He's not
Yeah.
saying you have to do it my way. He's like, do what you do.
Do what you do. Get the word out. Do what you
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
think I think the fact that there is so much connection in this community has got to be a reflection of the disconnection that is in Scientology. I
100%.
I'm certain of it. I'm
Yeah.
just certain of it. Um Maya says, even though the cult is only a doorbell in this country, I am so crazy invested in bringing it down, and that is because y'all, I get to experience what happens firsthand.
Yeah.
Right, you get to see how people talk. You get to see the craziness. You get
Yeah.
to watch it. I mean, yesterday, woman came out from the org and stood not 10 feet away from me feeding the parking meter. And I asked her, could I ask her a question?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't respond. So I just sat there and didn't say anything and looked at her with the camera. And when she walked past me back into the building, she was breathing like she was afraid.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Putting that on camera so everybody can see.
Yeah. And you just asked her if you could ask her a
I
question.
just asked her if I could ask her a question. That's all I did. Yeah. Yeah.
See, and you have to cater your approach to the person. Like for her,
And to the moment. Yeah.
yeah. For her, if you had come on strong, you would have scared her even more.
Right.
So
She
with
was
her,
terrified. Yeah.
yeah, just say, we're good people out here. We want to help you. We want you to reconnect with your family. If there's financial help out here if you need it.
Yeah. All those
Yeah.
things. All those things. But getting it on tape so people can see the
Yeah.
craziness that's going on makes a
Yeah.
huge difference. Mandy says, one more time, all this fighting is distracting away from the mission and the goal. Not everyone is going to agree, but we need to focus on the mission.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
I
I had moved on. I had
I
so
had
moved
gone,
on.
and then kaboom. And then this morning there
Oh
was
God,
another
what
kaboom.
what now? I haven't seen it yet.
One of the new board members, the Stephanie girl,
Yes, Stephanie Hutchinson, who does all the fact checking.
she wrote
Yeah.
a blog post dead agenting Aaron. And
What happened?
at the bottom it says, this is not, this is not, this is only a personal opinion. This is not the opinion of any board or blah, 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 blah.
What happened to their code of conduct? What happened to their code of conduct? So
Oh,
Matt Pesh has written something about Kelly, and now Stephanie Hutchinson has written something about Aaron. Why are these people not getting voted off the board?
what is the
Here's what I think.
violation? I've got a problem with the hypocrisy.
Yeah. Here's what I think why this is going on. Nobody wants to be on the board anymore. They can't find people to be on the board.
I think so too. I think
And they're begging people, please come on the board, and everyone's like, no, I'm not going to be part of that crap. Nobody wants to be scrutinized like that. So yeah, like they stabbed him in the back. They burned their bridges. Like nobody's gonna help them now. I got a hair floating around here.
Leslie says I was mentioned that Tracy mentioned me in the PTA. I hope it was a good mention. I hope it did work while I was there. Sweet Lily Love, I think it's also important to remember that not everyone in a cult has a supportive family to contact, speaking from personal experience. Just
Yes.
remember when talking with people. Yeah, I think it's really important to tell people there's people outside who can help you who aren't, I mean, there's people outside to help you whether you have family or not.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have family, you can get out.
Yeah. And, you know, we can say, like, look at Reese. She has a huge family now. You know, it may not be blood, but she's got a huge support system now. So it doesn't have to be, you can find your own family out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. To see Mike do all these OSA drills I have learned about this last year is so unreal. And the new board members, the blog to that lady, nuts. It's just nuts. It was a nuts blog. It really was a nuts job.
I only had time to watch Natalie's recap this morning.
She didn't even talk about it. It was
No.
Kelly.
I saw Kelly's video on it. I was like, I'll just have to catch that later because, oh God, what did Stephanie like? It's so sad because I believe, like, I have no idea what Stephanie wrote. I haven't seen it. But to think that somebody who was so dedicated into the fact checking Scientology, like putting them on blast about how they are, you know, misinforming their members, and then to write something about Aaron, it's just like, I don't know.
It seemed petty. It seemed
Yes.
petty.
Yeah.
It really seemed petty. Yeah. Fluffer said,
I'll have to go back and see it.
Jay was saying something about there's someone amazing you haven't even met yet that would love you so much. That's
1000%. Yes.
1000% Fluffer Squirrel. 1000%. Yeah. And Maya, yes, there's a community out here that you can connect to. Fluffer, thank you for doing all the things today. I really appreciate that. Fluffer put the link to Kelly Copter's breakdown of the blog in the chat.
Nice. Thanks.
Because Kelly Copter does do a great recap about that blog.
Yeah. Well, and just because I think I didn't fully understand the true impact of what was going on between Miriam and Mike until she pieced it together. And then it was like, oh, now I get it. Now I understand the depth of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Now I get it. Because I could be like, yeah, Miriam says that Mike used to do this, but it was like, no, Mike came Mike came up with it. He came up with these plans. It came from his brain to make these plans. LRH didn't say, "Oh, send Miriam and her mom off, or Miriam and her dad off to wherever." It was Mike or whoever. It wasn't LRH. It was somebody in Scientology that did it.
Yes. Yes. Darvo and gaslighting, Fluffer Squirrel says.
Yeah.
It's all Darvo and gaslighting. Okay. An hour and 50 minutes, girl.
I was going to say, do you think we're done?
I think we're about done.
Awesome.
I think we're about done.
Well, it was fun.
We got, now that we say we're done, this is going to be a Minnesota goodbye, right?
The Midwest goodbye. Yep.
There are also people who think this movement should fit in this box or that, and it never will. No, it's never going to fit in a box.
Well, and it has to, like with Scientology, they have their written policies. You have to do it this way, this, how, this, right? But the reason why they're failing is because they can't evolve, they can't change.
And this is a movement. It's like spreading out so fast and evolving so quickly, and there's no rules, so how can you use the enemy's rules against them?
Right. You can't, and you just have to evolve and adapt and change to whatever is going on currently. You have to use, like, TikTok kicked everyone off. So, okay, screw you. We're going over to YouTube. You have to be able to evolve and adapt and change to whatever fits the circumstance or whatever's happening currently.
Yeah. We got a bunch came in a sec. Squirrel says they're testing out their training wrench. Yes, Squirrel is testing out his training wrench in my group. The fact that no one has said not to support the aftermath, but they are trashing Aaron, and they will probably trash the SPTV Foundation too.
Right.
Yeah.
I can just see it in the future. Oh, well, SPTV Foundation denied them and we're going to give them money and well, whatever.
Right. Leslie, I'm glad that she said making the bracelet was very me. I made a bracelet for Reese, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fluffer, of course, you can drop a link for another streamer. Susan says, I pray for the Aftermath Foundation board that they will come to their senses and do the right thing. I choose to support SBTV Foundation and the creator protests that want to save the children and elderly. And Oregon Valley Girl says this better than I could. A free movement will never comply. That's the issue. It's a free movement. Fluffer Squirrel, I don't know what a carry-on rate is, but that sounds fun. I liken this to a modern day civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting, Pup Groomer. I could riff on that for a while, but we're trying to finish up. So I'm rushing through all the comments that you guys are putting up all of a sudden. Oregon Valley agrees. Worldwide, I'm thinking that would be amazing. Okay, whatever you say, Fluffer Squirrel. I've never used Twitch, but I think it's seen Nerd Report. Whatever you say. Everyone. You've got the wrench, Fluffer. Everyone can be involved in whatever way that works best. I love that we all have something to contribute.
Right.
Back 383. I've never seen Kelly so mad. She was.
Oh, now I really need to go watch it.
Girl was on fire.
Yeah.
Girl was on fire.
Yeah. Wow.
With that, Fluffer Squirrel dropped the link into Kelly's video in the chat. So if you haven't seen it, go back and over there follow it. And we're going to drop the link to the live starting at 7 p.m. with MD Media 18 interview with DOA. Okay, go over and say Carrie Ann said to spread the love. That's what we're doing. We're linking to another video at the end, and go tell them Carrie Ann said to spread the love. Yeah, sending people to the next video to see. That's amazing. Thank you.
Because we have to have a constant stream of SPTV.
Fluffer, yes, we do. Fluffer,
I don't watch anything else.
I don't watch much else either.
People are like, did you hear what happened in the Middle East? I'm like, no, but did you hear what happened in LA?
Fluffer Squirrel, can you drop Laura's channel in the
Okay.
in the link again in case anybody hasn't seen it? Okay, guys.
All right.
Dead air.
Anybody that's willing to come out with me on me and Cat ACDC and Uncle Dave on Saturday, please reach out. I think we'll be there from I think we decided 4 to 6-ish.
Yeah, that sounds about.
Because I think they're supposed to do it at 6, and then we get everybody going in. And once they're in, it's like, what's the point?
Yep, exactly. Well, you could wait until they come out, but
yeah. How was it? Did you learn something new? Please fact check who. Oh my God! Somebody called Dave something. Dwarfenfuhrer.
Dwarfenfuhrer. I saw that. That was
the Dwarfenfuhrer.
That was amazing. Wolf Machine. Did you get the link to Laura's page, to Laura's channel? Perfect. Okay, Dwarfenfuhrer.
The dwarf. Fact check your Dwarfenfuhrer.
I want that on a sign, but nobody's going to understand it.
Right. Oh, they'll know. They'll know.
We'd get spewed with too much hate for using that term. It's
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. This has been real.
Yep.
It's been fun.
Anytime. I love
real fun.
Chatting, and maybe next time I'll be able to see the comments and have my thing turned the right way.
Yeah. But you got it scheduled on your page. I saw that.
I know.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I had one little hiccup. I was like, what is going on here? And I was looking at it on my computer and on my phone, and I was like, oh, it's there on my computer. So then I was able to go on my phone and oh, okay, there it is.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I was glad you were able to get that done.
Yep.
Okay. I need to run. See
All right.
you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.